This is the 10 fastest ways to gear and increase your power level in Throne and Liberty as a free-to-play player once you hit max level. Alright, go ahead and go to Vienta Village to your guild base. At the back of your guild hall, you'll find the guild merchant. Go ahead and talk to him, scroll all the way down. You can get a rare special weapon selection chest giving you any of these rare weapons, which can also be used for lithographs going into epic weapons for only 280 guild currency. I've already bought 2 of these. I still have almost 2,700 currency. I've never done anything to farm these on purpose. You get so many of these for free, it's insane. Did I mention there's a bunch of other good stuff in here as well? Go ahead and open up your main menu and go into the shop. Now right now, if you spent any time watching on Twitch, Twitch drops will go into your storage chest and you will have a ton of ornate coins. These guys right here. Also, every time you find a codex page, a mysterious note, or a book on the ground that are highlighted in purple while you're running around, you'll get 3 ornate coins, and there's so many of these. When I hit level 50, I hadn't spent any, but I had about 680 saved up, and that's before the Twitch drops or anything like that. If you go into the shop or the swipe store and go all the way down to ornate coins, you can purchase every month up to 15 precious blessing pouches, and these things are absolutely amazing. I opened 3 of them last night, and one of the things I got was this heroic broadsword of the resistance with max health trait. I could extract this trait right now for 745 Lucent on the auction house. By the way, quick tip, if you ever want to know exactly what this trait is selling for, just click on the piece of gear or weapon, go down to trait list. Now we know this one has max health on it, it's only a 15% chance. Just click the search auction house and then it will show you right here. If we go to greatsword, all of the max health options. We'll just find the one we have, which is the broadsword of the resistance, and we can click on it to see. Right now it's worth 745, but it sells anywhere between 320 and 800 and has sold a total of 18 times. Again, from the main menu, we can go into weekly mission. Now, these are one of the most important things you should be doing. If you're a WoW player, then you know that the Great Vault disappoints everyone every week, and this week was no different. Of course, a massive disappointment, but you can see how this works. Every single slot has a different epic item outside of PvP where you can get a ton of trait stones. But for someone looking for a wand, here's the heroic wand of the resistance just for completing a resistance contract 50 times, and you can see here is this week's that we can start working on now. If you're wondering, if you don't have much time to spend on the game, what should you be doing? Your weekly missions for your Great Vault of Liberty is what you should be doing. And if you're looking for gear, you should be mainly focusing on world. There's percentage chances next to everyone. If we click on guild, we can see that the percentage chance to get a weapon is about 0.3%. However, if we go over to world and click on percentage, we can see that that percentage is anywhere between 2 and 10% to get a weapon. So if you're looking for epic weapons, prioritize doing your world weekly quests. One thing you should definitely be trying to do, especially as a free-to-play player, is acquire Lucent. Now, I've already spent a couple hundred. I still have about 500. I am a completely swipe-free player. I have never swiped on this game with 2200 power and a bunch of Lucent. And like I said, I could sell that greatsword for Lucent, or at least the extraction. One thing you should be trying to do, because you will have to level up the traits, and really the only way to viably level up traits on your weapons is through Lucent auction house extractions. That's the way to do it. If you don't want to swipe, you need to be farming. So one thing you should know is even blue weapons, even green weapons, if you get the right trait, it can sell for a lot of Lucent. Once you get the Lucent that you have, you need to start focusing on traits. And that's really this key tip right here, is to focus on those traits. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our equipment enchanting and we're going to look at trait. Let's say I wanted to level up this heroic staff of resistance max mana. Okay, so let's say I want to make this a tier 2 out of 4. Well, I'm going to need to find a heroic staff of resistance that has max mana on it as a trait extraction in the auction house. Well, how am I going to find that? I'm going to go to auction house. I'm going to go to filter, epic. I'm going to click find trait. I'm going to click find trait and I'm going to go to max mana, epic. apply, and then I'm going to go to staff. And I need to find the heroic staff of resistance that has max mana. This is how I'm going to level up the trait on my staff. Once I purchase this, I can go back and throw it into the equipment enchanting. It will show up right here on the right side. Same thing if I want to get a different trait, and let's say I don't want to use the trait unlock stones to put one of these traits on my weapon. I'm going to have to go back and find a heroic staff of resistance that does have the trait that I want. So let's say I want a critical chance. Well, then I'm going to go to the auction house. I'm going to change my filter from find trait max mana to find it max health, hit apply, go to staff, and we can see that there's none available. But that's how I would do it. For this next one, we're actually going to need to go to Stoneguard Castle because we need these senior crafters. So let's go ahead and teleport down there. One of the fastest ways to get epic gear is actually through the weapon crafting station, but by using Abyss currency. Abyss currency, or at least 40 of them, is going to let you choose between these precious equipment chests, which have a ton of not only epic weapons, but also epic gear in them. To acquire the Abyss currency, you're going to have to complete the Abyss contracts, like these ones right here for the Shadowed Crypt. You can see that we will not only get one of the blessing pouches, but we will also get one Abyss currency and some crafting stuff every time we complete one. Now, where do we get these? Well, we actually acquire these through those precious pouches that we were talking about earlier, which come from Ornate coins. If you go to the shop and Ornate coins, they come out of these precious blessing pouches, which is just another reason to grab up your monthly limit, as you are going to get a ton of those contract scrolls for Abyss currency and epic weapon chances in the pouch themselves. So these are absolutely amazing. Like I said, I got this absolute banger of a greatsword out of one just last night. So you want to make sure that you're getting the Abyss currency. But we're going to make this a 2-in-1 because not only can you do this here, but if you go to weapon materials and you scroll all the way down, you will see Dimensional Essence Salvation. So if you're just farming one dungeon, be wary that those dimensional soul shards, while you need 80 of these soul shards to get a specific chest, you only need 10 of each, or 50 total, to make a Dimensional Essence Salvation. Now we're going to use this over at the Accessories Crafter. Over in the Accessories Crafter, you can see down in the Accessories chest, we of course have the chest that we can use all of our soul shards on. We have the same chest as well for the Abyss currency, but unlike the Weapon Crafter, we have this precious epic accessory selection chest that only costs one Dimensional Essence Salvation and will give you your choice between two fairly decent rings. It should be noted that each one of the senior crafters will also sell the precious blank lithograph. Like this one is for accessories, the weapon crafter sells the one for weapons. Now this is how you make some serious Lucent. Remember how I said if I was to trait extract the max health, I'd get right around 745 Lucent. Well, if I use one of those precious blank lithographs by clicking it, going down all the way to lithograph at the bottom, and converting it into a lithograph itself, it could sell for between 7,000 and 8,000 Lucent. Now just to show you, you can acquire these from that weapon crafter. However, they do cost quite a lot to actually craft. The hardest thing is actually getting the ore for them, or not the ore, but the rubrics. So you can see to craft one of those weapon blank lithographs for an epic weapon is 20 precious parchment, 50 enchanted ink, 20 precious mana steel, 10 precious crystals, and 10 precious rubrics. Now farming this precious rubrics actually leads us conveniently into our next way to easily get epic gear and epic weapons, because we're going to be doing both of these at the same time. While we're farming the weapons and gear, we're going to be farming them in a place where we have the precious rubrics chances. Now that you're level 50, we can farm some very interesting places as long as we have Abyssal Contract tokens. I made a full in-depth video about these Abyssal Contract tokens, but to go over them quickly, you can use these in certain open world dungeons to get better gear better gear and crafting material drops. You can get these from various places like opening Mystic Globes or completing resistance contracts from one of the main cities. Now what we want to do is actually go to a very specific one, which is brand new, and that would be the Shadowed Crypt. So we're going to find the Shadowed Crypt right here, right near Phonos Basin, kind of at the top of the map, and we are going to want to farm in the Shadowed Crypt depths. Well, why not first or second floor? Because the Berserk, or the big elite guy, only spawns in the depths. We can go to monster info and see the Dark Enforcer. Now I have had both of these drop for me from him, so the drops are very good, and you can see that they also drop the precious rubrics, but not just the elites. Every single mob in here has a chance to not only drop epics, but also the precious rubrics. So we're going to be getting gear, we're going to be getting weapons, we're going to be completing contracts for the Abyss currency, because this is one of the places that we have the Shadowed Crypt contracts for. So we're going to be having 3 different farms for gear going at the same time. One of the best and most overlooked ways to get gear is actually through the Lithograph book itself. Now, many of these gray items you can just purchase from equipment merchants found around the different cities, but the gray items turn into green, green turn into blue, purple, or blue, and then turn into purple. So you can filter down here between the common, uncommon, all the way up to epic, and any of the ones that you actually have slots that you can fill for are already going to be at the top and filled in. Now you can see exactly what you want on the right side, but by actually clicking an item we can see where exactly we want to find it, craft it, or buy it from. It should be known that while we can do the epic lithographs that we just talked about, right now the rare lithographs seem to not be in the game, and it's rumored because of some, let's say, botting practices that are happening that apparently can exploit the rare lithographs for an insane amount of Lucent, which they can then go and do what they want with on other services. Kind of like what people in WoW do with gold farming. So filling out your lithograph book is going to be absolutely amazing, as eventually it's rumored they're going to release legendaries, and I bet when they do that, many of these epics are going to be used to go into those legendaries, and even if they aren't, the epics can be turned into different crystals, which may be used as well. While you're leveling, you might have done a lot of contracts. Did you know that if you go to the contract coin merchant and you have 1,500 contract coins, you can actually scroll all the way down and just purchase an epic weapon of your choice? That's right, for 1,500 contract coins, you can just get an epic weapon. Now, depending on what you want to do with that epic weapon, you can use it, equip it, level it up, get the mastery, or you can trait extract if you get something very lucky and sell it for Lucent, which means there's essentially a direct contract coin to Lucent swap system in the game already. You can then go even further and just put that on an epic blank lithograph and sell it for thousands of Lucent on the auction house. It should be known, he also sells the precious blessing pouches at a daily limit of 1-to-1, a limit that is not imposed on the epic weapon selection chest, but these are what those contract scrolls and further epic gear can come from. Something that a lot of people overlook is actually your Appendix Adventure Codex pages. So these pages are usually overlooked because they're automatically fulfilled and the rewards are just granted. And once you hit level 50, your mind is on doing level 50 dungeons, doing the PvP and arena and all the endgame stuff. But a lot of people miss some amazing pieces of gear back in their Adventure Codex. Let's, for example, take this one right here, Chapter 6. Once you complete it, you can get a very nice helmet. Chapter 7, you can get gloves. Chapter 8, you can get pants. And then all the way down back at Chapter 4, you can get a ring that I am still using currently. So don't forget, go back in your codex and make sure you've got all the gear rewards that you can use. And those were just a few of the ways that you can gear extremely fast and easy as a free-to-play player in Throne and Liberty. I'm going to be doing videos like this all throughout the tiers as we progress further, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope it helped.